Hello, Taurus. Welcome to this reading. My name is Zane, and we are going to be taking a look at the career and financial energy for the sign of Taurus for the month of March. Now, Taurus, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now, Taurus, I do not offer personal readings, so if you get a message from someone, that's not me, that's someone impersonating me. Please do keep that in mind. Please do not get scammed. I also only have one Instagram account. It is linked below. Make sure to use the link in the description below if you want to follow me on Instagram. Do not follow anyone else. They are a scammer. And I do exclusive content on Instagram, so definitely check that out. But let's see what we have here for you. All right. Let's see what we have here. Now, if you watch my videos regularly and you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do consider doing that. It really helps my channel grow in a big way. All right, Taurus, make sure everything's in view. Then we'll get right into it. All right, and we'll put this right here. I think that looks good enough to me. So right now you are potentially in a pretty serious situation in your career. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I think this is only going to resonate if this is what's going on right now. I'm not foretelling this is going to be happening. What I'm saying is this is happening for you. I feel like right now you might be evaluated by somebody, or you might be getting evaluated. You might also be thinking about sort of your long-term situation with your career and asking yourself if this is something you want to be doing forever. And let's just dive into it right away. So this Judgment card is all about, like, if I were to pick a card that recommended or that referred to a spiritual awakening, it would be the Judgment card, because this is about going into a period of self-evaluation potentially and asking yourself what it is that you need to do to get over the hump and get into the completion of the world, which is the card that comes next to it. So it can get very serious when you get the Judgment energy. And if you've ever gone into periods of time where you are like brutally honest with yourself, those periods of time can feel very spiritual. And the other thing about this Judgment card, it is with that like idea of being evaluated, it is looking at the actions you've taken up to this point, which is really just your karma. And so this is a big card of karma. This can also mean, like, if you work for somebody, that your boss you might be in the running for a job and you may not realize it. Like, you might be actually getting evaluated by somebody when you see this card. Like, you may be in the running for a job or a job raise or something like that. And so it feels like, I have to say, this is kind of a heavier energy where it feels like there are serious sort of, you're taking like a serious look right now at what's going on. So in the past here, you have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Cups. So the Eight of Swords is this idea of being trapped in fear. This person is blindfolded. They are trapped in an imprisonment of their thoughts. They cannot see the way forward. And the reality is that they have put themselves in this situation. And actually, it really doesn't talk about anybody else's energy being involved in this, even though we do have the Page of Cups next to it, which can be a person. Any of the Knight cards, or I'm sorry, any of the Court cards, my apologies, in the tarot can represent actual people. And so, yeah, there is this feeling where, but I don't feel like there is somebody else's energy here in terms of this Eight of Swords. In fact, what I feel like is going on is, you're maybe weighing something here, because the Page of Cups can represent some sort of happy news or a potential offer coming into you. And so if I'm putting this together, some of you here are taking a look at, am I happy with what I have now, or do I want to follow this new offer here? Do I want to take advantage of this new opportunity with this Page of Cups energy and maybe move towards a happier situation in your life? Like, with this Page of Cups, it may be a situation where, like, you're not earning as much, but it's something where you're happier. And so I'm getting this I'm getting like all sorts of messages here around this Taurus. So in the future, now this is one of these readings where I'll be very interested to see how we clarify, because right now it's not being immediately clear to me, other than you are evaluating something here. And I think it's evaluating self. I think it's evaluating happiness and evaluating, is the situation that you're in right now leading you to some sort of happiness. Now you have this Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands. So the Nine of Swords comes after the Eight of Swords. Basically, the fears present here in the Eight of Swords, the fears that are coming through in your mind, are now becoming realized in this Nine of Swords, where it's like now the fears are turning into actual anxiety, and maybe even leaving you leading you to get poor sleep. You can see this person here is staying up late at night. They're having a nightmare. And so it's about anxiety. The Five of Wands is about some sort of conflict, okay? And, some of you here are internally conflicted around whatever is going on with this Judgment energy, around evaluating something, around taking a serious look at your situation. So let's just see what we can do to clarify this. So let's move up the pyramid here. So you have the Empress, you have the Seven of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Moon. Okay. So what I like to see here is you have this Empress card. Okay, so this is the most abundant card defined in the tarot. This represents resourcefulness, having not only everything you need, but an abundance of everything you need and more. And so the Empress is a very good sign to find in the tarot. And, this can say that, this is Venus energy, so it's the planet of beauty, desirability, love, but it's also the planet of luxury and wealth, i.e. going into that period of resourcefulness here for you. It could also say that you're fertile with great ideas, and I think in this case, some sort of prospect of happiness here. I think you have a lot of happiness that is available, but I think there's something going on with your thought process, with your anxiety, with your mind right now, that's maybe providing you with a challenge. The Seven of Swords and the Moon are both cards of deception, or they can be. And I'm going to give you a positive situation and a negative situation with the Seven of Swords and the Moon. So the Seven of Swords can literally mean that with the King of Cups in between these two cards of deception, it can literally mean that somebody's maybe talking about you, gossiping, like spreading rumors, talking behind your back. That could certainly be the case, or just generally deceiving you in some ways, because there is a person card in between these two messages here. King of Cups would be somebody who's maybe leads from the heart space, is somebody who's an emotional leader, but as it is in the detriment here, this could be somebody who is emotionally manipulative. And so now the positive way that you could look at this, Taurus, is some of you maybe need to create a game plan here to get yourself out of a situation. The Seven of Swords can represent coming up with a plan of action, strategizing. And you can see that this person's stealing swords. Well, they were never going to be able to steal those swords without having some sort of action or game plan or strategy in place. It may mean getting clever. It may mean taking the backdoor exit in some ways. And the Moon can say that potentially you trusting your intuition. It can also say that there's a temporary situation. The Moon goes up, the Moon goes down, right? And so it's like this idea of like the phases of the Moon and the cycles of the Moon, something being temporary. And so what you may want to do at this time is come up with a strategy here as you go into this period of self-evaluation with the Judgment card, to maybe help yourself out with these feelings of anxiety. You do have the 7, 8, 9 of Swords, right? So these are the upper swords cards that we're looking at, and they are historically can be challenging. And some of you here trying to create focus around a game plan, around helping yourself out of a situation in some ways. Let's move up the pyramid here and see what we have. You have the Lovers. Yep, there it is. The 8 of Pentacles, and the World. Okay, so you are completing the cycle. The number 20, the Judgment card, as at the base of the pyramid, with the World here in the future, going the distance. You are absolutely going the distance. So I love that we get these three cards. If you're still with me, this has been a challenging reading, but if you're still with me, I do think that there are rewards here. The Lovers represents an important choice to make in your career situation. It can also be the duality of life, right? It's like, it's one of these cards of like sort of juggling tasks, juggling priorities, and trying to sort of maintain balance, maintain harmony, achieve harmony in some level here. But what I love is not only are you completing this cycle, not only are you closing out a chapter, and the thing with the world is it is Saturn energy. So Saturn energy is very challenging. Okay, it's specifically challenging, but the rewards are some of the greatest rewards that you can find, because it's this idea of like, as you put in the work, you are rewarded, right? And so the thing is, you have this Eight of Pentacles pulling this all together in the middle. To me, this means that you are going to fall back on your talents here in changing times, in trying times, in challenging times. This is a major card of talent when you get the Eight of Pentacles, and it says that you have a lot to offer the table. You have a lot to bring to a situation. So again, I feel like some of you here absolutely have a way out. I think there is a strategy. There's a backdoor exit here with the Seven of Swords. I think for you, it's relying on your talents to complete this challenge here. So you have the King of Swords and the High Priestess. Okay, so the King of Swords is about somebody who might be a subject matter expert, somebody who might help you get from point A to point B. Like, they will definitely, if you have the King of Swords in your corner, it can definitely work out for you in a positive way. They can be somebody who helps you advance your career. They will maybe be somebody who gives you a fair shot. I think this is a good person in your corner. I'm not getting great energy from the King of Cups for whatever reason. Well, it's because it's in between the Seven of Swords and the Moon. That's why, and the Nine of Swords is around it. But I do feel like there is somebody else potentially in your corner here with this King of Swords that can help you. You do also have the High Priestess, which represents something hidden coming to the surface. It can represent secrets. It can represent information being held from you, which, you know, in combination with the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, you being left in the dark about something, but that coming to light, okay? And the High Priestess can be a way shower, similar but completely different than the King of Swords. Both of these cards can be way showers, but the High Priestess, I would say, is a bigger one. And the High Priestess is more about somebody who might blow your mind, okay? Like somebody who might drop facts and like really help you understand something in a new way. And so it's a true way shower in your life. And it can also represent like hidden knowledge. I've already said that, but like just knowledge generally, like learning. Let's see what else we have here. Very, very nice to see. I love to see this for you here, Taurus. You have the Strength card to end out the top of the pyramid here. If you made it this far, you're still watching the video. The good news is that this is an internal obstacle that you are fighting. Okay, this represents the Strength card represents overcoming an obstacle, but it's something internal. Okay, it's an internal battle, an internal struggle. Yeah, there may be somebody who's manipulating the situation, but at the same time, a lot of this stuff is internal with the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Swords here. And for me, what the Strength card says is that you will have the courage and the strength and the fortitude to make it through whatever challenge you are dealing with here. You also have this Knight of Wands moving somewhere. You might be saying, you know what, I'm not going to stay in a situation where someone's manipulating me. And I feel like this is this intense period of evaluation here with the Judgment energy at the base of the pyramid. The Knight of Wands also says that you are a maverick. You have so many skills, so many talents and abilities, especially as you have this Eight of Pentacles here. And so you're really falling back on that to help yourself out at this time. So thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and feel free to check out my email list. There's a link to that in the description below. I will see you in the next reading.